your most anticipated game presented by Prime Gaming. Here are the nominees. And the Game Award goes to Elden Ring for the second year in a row. All right, well, everyone, our next guest is a little shy. If anyone in the
Hey folks, so last Thursday evening, on Friday at 2 goddamn in the morning until 5 in the goddamn morning, if you're in Europe, was the Game of the Year awards. As one of the many Zelda fans watching, I was of course a tad sad not to see some news on Breath of the Wild 2. Not annoyed or anything, no. I mean, there was no promises of news, so it would be pretty harsh to be annoyed at this. But because there was no news, I am now boycotting Nintendo. How dare they give us nothing? I'm kidding, for now. But because there was no news, I am now thinking that we will more than likely get some news at one of Nintendo's very own presentations, a Nintendo Direct. With this coming in January or early February, Nintendo have often held beginning of the year presentations to show what's to come in that year, and this couldn't be any more exciting. Surely we are going to get something whenever this next Direct is. We just have to get something on this game. I'd be willing to bet on it with anyone, but it does beg some questions. Such as, where is this game in terms of its development? Has there been another delay? Or are Nintendo just taking their sweet time to put all the love and care possible into this game? It's going to be a shorter video today, but I thought it would be both fun to discuss my feelings on this, and also provide some positive perspective to this whole situation, as I feel a few good fans were a bit disappointed, and whilst the minority, some were a bit annoyed, which I cannot understand why, given that Nintendo never promised anything at the awards. But still, be mad I guess. Anyway, let's get into the little discussion. But firstly, be sure to go and grab yourself a snack or drink and send them in to get featured right here. Be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already, it really helps the channel out, and let's get into this one. So the last time we got coverage on this highly anticipated game was back at E3 of this year, in the form of a small teaser trailer, basically the same as the reveal trailer. It increased the hype levels a ton by showing us an extremely contrasting look from the first trailer. That hype was big, but since then, nothing has popped up. Not literally. We did see, not even a logo, but a stand-in title logo included in Nintendo's What's to Come in the Year of 2022 section of a Twitter post. I mean, that's something, right? This is why many fans were hoping for some coverage at the Game Awards, but sadly there was none. To me personally, this is not an issue, as Nintendo never promised or hinted at news at the awards, so I find it hard to understand why some fans were genuinely annoyed. God forbid the developers don't have something for us yet. I'd rather wait and get what they think is good, rather than some rushed product because a few fans moaned. Anyway, we're now in a situation where we look to when we could next see some coverage, and personally, I think the best way to try and answer this question is to consider the possible reasons that we didn't see any news at the Game Awards, and go from there. In my mind, there could be two reasons for the lack of news lately. Again, no issue with it, but it is a fact. There hasn't been any. Either they have something big planned for their next presentation, and the awards wouldn't have allowed enough time to showcase said new stuff. Or they just aren't ready yet. Now I will admit there is a small chance that the development process has hit some issues and the game process has been delayed, but I don't think that's the case. I have nothing to back it up, it's just a gut feeling. Okay, so the two reasons I mentioned. If the case is that Nintendo actually has a big showcase for the game planned, which could be possible given the past two pieces of coverage were small trailers, then I'd imagine that this would come in January, maybe February at the latest. Nintendo do often have directs early in the year to show what's coming that year, as previously mentioned, whether soon or late in the year. And when I say a big showcase, I mean more than just a short trailer, obviously. A longer trailer, some discussion/information from the developers, and if we're lucky, maybe a bit of gameplay. If this idea of a bigger showcase being planned is true, then it will likely come at the first opportunity possible, which in the case of the Game Awards, didn't fit. It doesn't help that the sequel, or Zelda in general, didn't win anything. I mean, the sequel is only up for the most anticipated Game Award. I like to think this is what's going on, but to keep myself grounded and with some form of realistic expectations based on the past few times we as fans have got ourselves hyped up regarding this game, I also think that there's a fair chance that the development of the game just isn't at a point where another showcase or even teaser trailer would make sense. If that's the case, then fair enough. Show us what you have when you have it. I hope that this isn't the case given that 2022 will likely be the release year, and it really shouldn't be the case as Nintendo did say that they will be looking to show more and more on the game in the coming months following the last trailer, and it's getting to the stage of being more than in the coming months. We'll hopefully be looking at the first suggestion. Of course this wasn't a promise, but it was a suggestion from an official person at Nintendo, Bill Trinan. It would be pretty odd if he said this and it wasn't exactly true. So it is pretty likely that their plan was, and I guess is still, to show stuff off in these coming months, which is now coming to the point of more than just a few. It's gotta be coming soon. So what else is there to discuss now? Well, I think I've made my important points clear regarding no coverage being at the Game Awards, but something I'd like to add to this is that I personally think 2022 will be the year for this game. Really start the promotion in the beginning of the year, already having a foundation of interest built from the first 2 trailers. Build the game up throughout the year, and towards the end, drop that bad boy. November 30th would be a great date to pick if you ask me. No particular reason. But generally speaking, I do believe that this game will be released in 2022, the later stages. That would be 3 years following the reveal trailer, and given that the game itself would have actually began development a little bit before this, we could say that the end of 2022 would see the game at least 4 years in the making. Pair this with the fact that it's using the same game engine as Breath of the Wild, and World for some degree. A release year next year is very likely in my opinion. I'm sure time will tell very soon, if we do or don't get some news in the early stages of next year. Now, one thing to remember regarding all of this before I wrap up, we are still in a global pandemic. That's the reality of life currently. As Nintendo stated at the beginning of their 2021 E3 presentation, everything is subject to change due to the pandemic. Always keep this in mind. It is very easy to forget sometimes. But hey, let me know what you think about all of this. Thoughts on nothing at the Game Awards? Why do you think this is? What do you think is to come whenever we do get news, and everything else covered today? Let me know down below in the comments. Thanks a ton for watching. I really hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, be sure to drop a like and consider subscribing for more fabulous Zelda content. If you didn't already know, I have a Discord server which you're all welcome to join via the link below. We talk about day-to-day life and of course Zelda. You can even chat to me directly there when I'm online, or submit me questions in my personal Q&A chat. The link can be found below. As always, a huge special thank you goes out to all of my supporters across Patreon and YouTube, with special mention to new member John, who supported through Patreon. Thanks a ton. If you'd like to join them and get yourself a shout out upon joining and your name at the end of every video, then consider supporting. Again, thanks for watching, and until the next time, I've been Hyrule Gamer.